Let's talk about alts, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things altcoins bring. Let's talk about alts. You know our salt and pepper. It's time for Chico Crypto. Yeah, today we are bringing the heat with altcoins, a flurry of Altcoin Alpha and informations that could make your head spin. So keep that head screwed on tight. You don't want to miss this Altcoin Alpha. So let us begin with my favorite savior of MEV, Alchemist coin. There has been big news dripping from the Alchemist faucet, which needs to be covered, as Alchemist coin is changing the decentralized exchange game through MEV. Alchemist developer Nathan Worsley dripped the news late last week, saying MistX now has positive value MEV extraction built in. If your trade generates MEV, we extract and give you a kickback. The process is transparent and free of front running. Positive value extraction funnels MEV back to where it rightly belongs, the hands of the user who creates it. What this means is if a transaction on the DEX would have been sandwiched and MEV extracted from it, and the user traded that transaction through MistX, the value savings of that potential extractions are now distributed back to the user. So, going to the Flashbot's MEV leaderboard, we can see some of the latest MEV transactions going through Ethereum. And looking at the MEV transaction sender income column, there are a couple of transactions that almost equal $1 million in profit for the MEV extractor. The miner who sandwiched the trader was able to extract nearly $1 million from the DEX user and trader. But if the trader would have used MistX, an extraction of that size could have been stopped, as transactions go through a private mempool called MEV Geth, where miners take tips to route the transactions privately. Now, the MEV savings that MistX provided in the past were given to the Mist community as a whole. Savings were sent to the Ludo Rewards program, and it enriched Alchemist Crucible holders. But now a portion of that value saved is routed right back to the user. And back at the MistX exchange interface, they now have a leaderboard button too. And clicking on that will show the biggest rewards given right back to the traders through positive value MEV extraction. Thus, making a trade on MistX now gives you the right to take back what is yours, your value. MistX is the first cash back, or ether back should I say, exchange in the history of cryptocurrency. Although what most people don't realize is MistX isn't a decentralized exchange per se. It's a decentralized exchange layer that works on top of DEX infrastructure. Initially, MistX was built to work on Uniswap v2. It was layered on top so users could use the MistX UI and interface to protect their trades with v2 liquidity pools. As an exchange layer, this means MistX can be used by different exchanges and integrated directly into their DEX, which seems to be happening with the biggest swapping DEX out there, Uniswap. So earlier in September, a money sign DeFi on Twitter tweeted a screen grab of a Uniswap interface, which showed front-running protection through Flashbots and MistX, integrated directly into the Uniswap UI. Although this was just a screenshot, and from the top of it, it looked to be on a private server. So this couldn't be confirmed as it was just a screenshot, and no one I knew had the private server link. Until now. A crypto overview on Twitter posted the direct link, and clicking into it, it takes us to a Uniswap interface, a Uniswap v3 interface. Clicking on the gear icon for settings, we can then click on front running protection, and then hovering over the question mark, a pop-up says, your transaction will be protected from front running attacks, and it's powered by Flashbots and MistX. And then we can see once it's turned on, it says below front running protection on. Then clicking on swap, it says regarding the estimated gas fee for your front running protected swap. The proof is in the alchemy pudding that Uniswap v3 will be integrating MistX and Flashbots. But there will be naysayers that say, well, someone just forked Uniswap v3 from the Alchemist team and is creating this themselves. There is no proof of Uniswap helping with this. Oh, really? Going back to the URL of this private server link with MistX integration, we can see at the top there is Dire0x included in the link. Dire0x is an Alchemist coin developer, specifically focusing on MistX development. Dire0x, where could you be? Well, going into the Uniswap GitHub, specifically the interface section, there is a closed issue titled Front Running Protection MistX, which was opened by Dire0x. And also adding commits to the issue, as we can see, Moody Salem. Who is Mr. Moody? Well, as we can see from his GitHub profile, Moody Salem is a senior software engineer at Uniswap.
Ba-boom! Ba-boom!
So, in my opinion, Uniswap is going to have direct MistX integration very soon. This means Crucible holders are about to be enriched on another level that we could only dream of. Billions of dollars per day get traded through Uniswap, which means millions of dollars of saved MEV extraction. But also, Uniswap traders will also soon be able to get the feature of cash back on their trades. Big stuff all around, that is just around the corner. But now it's time to bring that future altcoin heat, predicting another airdrop and a big one like the ones I've predicted in the past. DYDX, ring a bell? Yeah, I predicted that one months before it happened, and it was a big one. Some people making out with nearly $1 million. Actually, that is worth more than $1 million now with the recent price increase. Now, everyone should know about Paradigm. They are one of the largest crypto VC firms out there who has a stellar portfolio of projects. DYDX is in there. Airdrop. Reflexer Labs, creator of the Rise stablecoin, is in there. Airdrop, of which I called. Uniswap is in there. Airdrop. But there is a certain scaling solution too. Optimism, the creators of the optimistic rollup. And they haven't done an airdrop yet. Chico Crypto thinks they're about to do one real soon. Why? Well, the number one reason has to do with Paradigm. It's obvious from their portfolio projects, they like tokens and they like airdrops. So I wouldn't doubt Paradigm, one of their lead investors, is pushing them to do one. But the next reason is the biggest reason of all, which will push them into doing an airdrop. And it all comes down to competition. Going to L2B, which tracks value locked up in L2s, and looking at the optimistic rollups, Arbitrum is smoking Optimism with 1.5 billion locked up, compared with their 214 million. That is 7x the value locked up, and Optimism is falling fast and farther behind their competitor number one. But then the fastest growing L2, which is up over 50,000% over the last 7 days, is an optimistic rollup, and that is Boba Network. Going to the press release of the Boba mainnet, we can see that this is from the OMG network, and it's actually based on the open source Optimism codebase. But they also say this in the blog. In support of the Boba mainnet, OMG Foundation is releasing a new governance token for the platform, Boba. Boba tokens will be airdropped to existing OMG token holders who have bridged their OMG tokens to the Boba network by a snapshot date later next month. They are doing an airdrop. That is the reason for the explosion in TVL, over 50,000% growth in just 7 days. Now, if Optimism is already behind Arbitrum and they don't want to fall behind Boba, they better incentivize people to get on their rollup. And the best way to do that is through an airdrop. So my friends, to end this episode off, I'm going to show you how to use optimistic Ethereum and get yourself in a position to potentially get a future airdrop. Now, the Optimism bridge can be found at gateway.optimism.io, and of course a link for the bridge is below in the description. Once there, you will connect a wallet, and we're going to use MetaMask. Once connected to your wallet, you will put in the amount you want to transfer from mainnet to optimistic Ethereum. For this example, we will use 1 Ethereum. Click deposit, and then confirm the transaction in MetaMask, and if you have a ledger, do it there too. And the deposit process will begin. Wait for the required amount of confirmations, and when complete, you will know you get showered with confetti. Now that could be all you need to do to be eligible for the airdrop, but just in case, I would make sure to trade on Uniswap on Optimism, as they are telling you to try it out on their bridge page. Clicking on try it out, it takes you to the Uniswap interface. In the top right corner, click on Ethereum to switch to the Optimistic mainnet. This will automatically enter the details for the Optimistic rollup into MetaMask, so it makes the switch. Click approve and then switch network, and it will finally land you on the Uniswap on Optimism page. Then enter what you'd like to swap. For our example, we will do 0.75 of an Ethereum into DAI. Approve the transaction on MetaMask with those super low gas fees, and if you have a ledger, there too. And then boom, the transaction is done in the blink of an eye. And then you can even trade back if you don't want to stay and die, but just making those trades with their known partner Uniswap will give you that much of an upper hand if they do plan to do airdrops. And we here at Chico Crypto think that is the plan, even if there isn't one. Cheers, I'll see you next time.